Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to put a focus on this little shelf here where I have many of my trees, if not most of my trees. Simply go through it a little bit. What trees do I have here? Why do I have them here? How are they doing? And why it might make sense to combine your trees in one spot like this, because spoiler alert, it's simply way easier to take care of them this way. So first, the shelf itself is actually an old ladder that I painted. I then added some wooden planks to it and created a shelf this way. So quite convenient. Actually fits quite well into the flat where I have it. I don't have it usually where it is right now. I just put it in the spot right now because it's easier to film here. And I would say let's start right away with just going around from part to part here and talk a little bit about the trees. So I have mostly bonsai trees, of course, here on this shelf. You can see a lot of ficus, for example, on this area. It is because this part here is normally facing the window the closest. So I all put my tropical trees here that do need a lot of sunlight. I have, for example, a ficus ginseng here. Up here, another one with a little accent rock in it, and a variegated ficus benjamina up here that I'm trying to fuse together right now. So you can see here actually the wire that is adhering the different stems together. Hopefully they will fuse together. Right next to it I have Ming Aurelia. It's a little plug that is growing very well. So you can see a lot of growth up here actually. So it's doing very well, very healthy growth also now in cold season. And hopefully I will get to work on that a bit more next growth season. Hopefully also repotting it and really starting it on its bonsai journey. I have also a lot of other projects I'm not showing that often. For example, here a rubber plant that I am thinking about turning into a bonsai sooner or later because it becomes quite nice and woody here. The leaves are comparatively small actually for a rubber plant, so I'm thinking about maybe also being able to turn this into a bonsai project in the future. Down here and in the middle I have then actually just some houseplants, mainly due to the reason because the height here makes it quite difficult to really fit a bonsai tree in here. I mean, smaller cuttings would work, but I have, for example, a little aloe plant because you can never have enough aloe in your house, is my opinion. A little wax plant and a pothos down here. So basically plants that simply look good hanging down here from the shelf, filling out this space quite nicely. Here to the side, a little cactus, a little Sansevieria variety, I think it is. And then on the other side, of course, next to another pothos, I still have some more bonsai projects. So let's focus on that a little bit still. So when we move here, I have a little semi-cascade ficus benjamina that is also actually in the midst of being fused together here in the back. Let me show you. Get a better view here. Also, I'm trying to really fuse this together right now. Also wired two different trees together here because unfortunately the top of the tree has died back. So I thought, why not try with fusing it together, create this top again from a different plant. Right here I have a little lemon cypress tree. That one is doing very well. I used to have a lemon cypress in my collection, however that one unfortunately didn't make it over cold season. This one is doing extremely well this cold season. It's probably because I really make sure it doesn't dry out too much. As it is right now, definitely later I will still water it because the top part of the soil is dry. That means it needs to be watered. Probably also this one next year will get more into working on it, really wiring it, really working on the form and on the shape of this tree. If we move up, this is a little ficus plant. At this point it's still really a plant because there's a lot of different trees in here. The goal also here is to simply let it grow, hopefully healthily, and then either work on a fusion project with this or maybe even take out separate trees from here and then work on them separately. But we will see. I actually used another plant like this to create a fusion tree that is not here on the shelf but is also doing still very well. So let's move up to the top, still here. And we have another ficus ginseng project I'm doing right now. This was just a little plant plug that is in good soil now, good pot already, and is growing also quite nicely. What I will have to do here, not too far in the future, is to really work on the foliage. You can see growing quite wild at the moment, so there is definitely need for shaping and pruning on this tree. And then still here in the back we have a little ficus benjamina, also a variegated one. Is also wired in shape right now, but of course very thin in comparison to many other trees in my collection. So this is far from a finished project. It's actually just at the start, really hoping to get some thickness in the trunk here over the next years by simply letting it grow wild and free. But until then, yes, on this shelf it gets a lot of sunlight, and that definitely helps with the growth. So just to give you a good idea again on how it looks, so you can see the entire shelf here. It is quite full. It is also basically the spot in my collection where I have most of my plants together in one space. Of course, makes it easier to care for them because you can quickly go through them, see do they need watering, which one does need to be watered, is there anything else that has to be done. So that is quite nice to have them all in one spot like this. So do recommend, if possible and you have a good spot where you can fit a shelf like this with good conditions for your trees, to get something similar to that. And of course for your indoor trees that is then perfect. You could also of course create something like that as a bonsai shelf outdoors, of course. But for me specifically in my flat, this for indoor trees is very, very much serving the purpose that I have for it. So that's already it with this little tour of my plants. Most of them I have shown in videos before, of course, especially the bonsai trees. So also you can see this as a little update on those trees. They're all still doing very well now in cold season. Probably many of them you will see in future videos again when we continue working on them. And until then, take care.